Welcome to VoiceOver Freedom. I'm excited to be here today because I want to answer a common question that I get from time to time. What is the difference between working with an agency or doing this as a freelancer? And so, firstly, I want to tell you about how I got started. I got started back in 2010 doing this completely on my own, completely independently. I didn't have prior experience. I didn't sign up with an agency. I didn't go looking for an agent or a manager. And that's the great thing about this is you can start without having to look for a manager, without having to jump through those extra hoops of trying to find an agency for yourself. Now, not to say that it's bad to have an agency. There are pros and cons, and that's kind of what I want to touch on in this video. The pros and cons of working with an agent or an agency and doing this independently. But yes, let's start with doing this independently because that's how I got started doing this myself. So when you do this independently, you're your own boss. You have your own equipment, you have your own customers. You are in control of everything, the pricing, the deadlines, negotiation. So that's all up to you. And I love that. I love having that control and that power and that flexibility and also that relationship with my customer because as an independent voiceover artist, you are talking to your customer directly. You're building a relationship with them. You're setting the prices, you're delivering the projects directly to them. And I like that. You know, it's very nice to build repeat business because they know you, they like you, they trust you. So that's doing this independently. Again, you are in charge of all your own stuff, your own equipment, your own recording space, your customers, prices, etc. Let's talk about doing this with an agent or through an agency. Now, firstly, agents, the pros of having an agent or an agency is that they're supposed to bring you projects, they're supposed to bring you work. And sometimes those can be really big projects, really well-known projects like movies or television series for Netflix or Disney or blockbuster type scale projects. They're really big projects that only are available through representation of an agent. So it can get you exclusive projects like that. But here's the thing, it doesn't guarantee you those projects. So having an agent does not guarantee you work. I have friends and colleagues who say they have an agent, but the agent hasn't brought them work. And so you're relying on someone to hopefully bring you projects. Another thing too is if they do get you a project, they are going to take a nice cut of that project. So you're not getting the full compensation. They're going to be taking a cut. The other thing is that you have to actually get the approval of an agent. You have to find an agent who is willing to take you on. You can't just go to Agents R Us and pick out an agent and you're good to go. You have to find one that's willing to work with you. So you have to convince them, you have to show them your demos, you have to basically find someone to represent you. So a couple extra hoops there, but again, the biggest payoff is that they'll find you projects, that they'll want to work with you, that they'll hopefully find you good projects, big projects, and hopefully that will be enough to make it worth it for you. But in my experience, I much rather just be in control of the people and the projects that I work with. I'm able to find more consistent work that way. I'm not having to share a cut with the agents. Now you do have to share a cut with the website that you choose to go with. I've used Fiverr since 2010, and so Fiverr does take 20%. Every website is different, but for customers that reach out directly to me through email or social media, no one's taking out a cut. So you're able to keep that project compensation. So pretty cool stuff. Again, pros and cons, but at the end of the day, I love doing this because I can do it from home. I don't have to refer to anyone. It's me and my customers and my equipment and my voiceover projects. And that makes me feel very happy and very satisfied. Again, you have a lot of pros, a lot of control over this, but again, both have pros and cons. The way I've been doing it is independently, and that's how I want to teach it. So a lot of people are in that same scenario where they want to find a way to do this from home with their own equipment in order to make an additional income or in order to make this their main income, and both of which are totally possible and both of which I have been able to do from home. So yeah, I'm going to get to the comments. I see we got a couple questions here, but let me just tell you about how I got started real quick. Back in 2010, I was working retail. I was working a 9 to 5, and I wanted to find a way to make some extra money on the side. A lot of people are in that same spot where they either want to find an additional source of income or they've been wanting to do voice acting. Maybe they want to do this as a main hustle. And so I bought my own mic. It was a simple USB mic, and I started recording and I started putting together my first demo, of which I put online And that led to me getting my first customers and starting my first side hustle, which now grew into my main hustle. And that is what I do to this day. So pretty cool stuff. That's why I'm here on this live, to answer your questions, to share my experience, and hopefully make this journey a lot easier for you as well. So now let's go ahead and dive right into the questions. We do have some comments here, which I'm pretty excited to jump into. Again, feel free to ask any questions at any time. Let's see. Thank you guys for the likes, by the way. So let me start at the top. Joe, is there a union for voiceover work similar to SAG? So again, I'm not in a union, so I don't have specific unions that I can recommend to you. I know the kind of perks and the cons, the pros and cons, because I've talked to other people and I've done my research on unions, but I don't have a specific union to refer to you. I've been doing this independently, so that's really what I do specialize in, is the websites online, the places to find jobs online, strategies for social media, for getting work through that way. But thank you for the question, Joe. Another question here is, what's a good website to start voiceover career? This is a great question, and I get it all the time. One that I just mentioned is Fiverr. So again, I've been on Fiverr since 2010, and I like Fiverr because it's the easiest to use, I would say, and it's the most beginner friendly. There are other websites which are also great, like voices.com, which definitely has bigger projects than Fiverr, but it is going to be a little more competitive. It might be a little more scary for some people who are just getting started. Another good one is Upwork. So there's a couple good websites for you that I can recommend. Great questions, by the way. And I will get more into that. But let's go ahead and talk about the equipment, because before you get to the website, you do need to do a couple of things. For example, you have to have a good demo. The demo is how you're going to market yourself. To have a good demo, you got to have a good recording space. To have a good recording space, you got to learn how to use your mic, and you got to learn how to use your recording software. All those things come together so that you can actually put together that demo and start to market yourself. So some people might be curious, what exactly is the demo? What does that sound like? The demo is basically a portfolio that you're going to show to potential customers. You're going to put that on your profile. Anyone who wants to work with you is going to listen to that demo. They're going to play it. If you have a good demo that's engaging, they're going to listen to it the whole way through. If it's not a very good demo, they might listen to a couple seconds and then they're on to the next. Because that's how it really works, is with these websites, you have multiple profiles and they're going to go one by one listening to each demo and listening to each voice until they find the one they like the most. And hopefully that's you. Now here's the good thing, is there is a need for all kinds of voices. Some people ask me, how do I know if I have the right voice? How do I know if I'm going to get the project? So the good news is that because there's so many kinds of projects in different genres and industries, there isn't just a need for one voice. There's a need for male voices and female voices of different styles, different genres, different cadences, different textures, including ones just like you. So that is the good news. So you have the right voice, you just have to train it. That means good enunciation, good flow, good use of pauses, a good way to engage your audience, because that's really what our job is. We are voice actors, so we are bringing the script to life. We're not just simply reading, and that is also what's going to set you apart from the competition. How do you go about making a demo? Great question, my friend. So you basically want to get scripts. You want to get scripts that showcase your voice's strengths, and that's different for everybody. Everybody has a different voice, and so you're going to find styles and genres that you are confident in and that will feel good for you to record in. Over time, you're going to get real projects from customers, and you can use those projects in your demo. So that's what I do now, is I have real projects in my demo. But when I was starting out, I actually created my own scripts. So I would use scripts that I was making based off of real commercials and real ads. A couple suggestions is maybe using scripts from the library, like books, magazines, etc., to kind of get you started. Another good question here is, I'm in the market for a good mic to dive into voiceover work. Is the LCT 440 good enough quality? LCT 440. Every time I go live and someone recommends me a mic, it's something that I've never heard of before. So yeah, this is a mic that I've never heard of, but I'll go ahead and look it up and I'll give you my quick opinion on it right now. But right off the top, I can tell you it is a very great microphone. Absolutely. Definitely a very great microphone. The only thing about it is I'm not familiar with the brand, but as far as the specifications goes, it is a condenser microphone. That's the main thing I tell everyone is go for a condenser microphone because they pick up more sound, more clarity in your voice. It does have a cardioid pattern, which means it picks up right where it needs to in the front. And looking at the rest of the specs, it picks up your voice loud and clear. And yeah, it's built very, very well. So those are the things I look for when I'm looking for microphones. Great question, by the way. So as far as microphones go, you don't have to break the bank. There are a lot of great microphones that will fit your budget. And you could go with a low budget at 50 bucks, medium to 100 bucks, or higher, 200 bucks and up. That's really up to you, but you do have flexibility. You do have options. You can record out of your room. You can record out of your closet. That's where I started recording. And I've been able to get great results using simple things like moving blankets to actually create a good recording space. And of course, you will need a computer. So most of you already have a computer, like a laptop or a desktop, that you can use to start recording. And that way you can start putting together your first demo. Now, I know it might be a little intimidating getting started recording and going through this whole process if you've never done this before, but don't worry because I have put together a step-by-step starter course. I've made a course that walks you through the whole process of getting started, from what kind of mic to get and how to use it, to also how to create your first recording booth in your room or in your closet, and training your voice, different exercises to get you sounding your best. And of course, the recording process. So in that starter course, I teach you how to record, edit, mix in music, and all of my best settings to actually get the most out of your sound. Not only that, I also include the best scripts. I include different scripts that you can use to include in your demo and to practice with. So that is the starter course, and it's not hundreds of dollars. It is just a one-time 27 bucks. So if you are interested in that, it is available in the link in my bio. By the way, you might be wondering about the jobs. I did create bonus content that goes into the best websites, the best strategies to succeed, the projects, commercial rights, royalties, all of that is covered in the bonus content that you can also get with the starter course.